Hello, guys. So today I wanted to chat about something that's been on my mind for quite some time. The idea of us as women having to push through our brokenness and our hardships and our challenges. Okay. Today, I feel as though it's become more difficult as women to do the things that we want to do outside of the identities that have been put on us as mothers, as sisters, as wives, as friends, just as a human being, with all the things that we have to go through on a day to day basis. It is difficult, even more so now, to push through. So recently, there have been different news out there about women who've had to give up their very lucrative jobs and positions because it wasn't tenable. It wasn't, they couldn't stand it anymore. CEOs, senior leaders, um, female leaders who have had to let go of things that they've dreamt of for so many years because they couldn't keep it up. Um, this brings my mind to when the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, decided to step down, and a lot of the news outlets made it sound as though she had committed a murder, and made it sound as though it hasn't been a challenge for her as a newly as a newlywed, a mother who'd just given birth, to be in charge of her country during COVID. She stepped up and did amazingly. One of the countries who responded on time and proper um, took the proper actions and course of actions to ensure that the people within the country were safe and those coming in were safe. Um, After all the amazing things she did, that woman was extraordinary in her judgments, in her diplomacy, in her approach to politics. She showed that it was not just because she was a woman, but because she was competent at the job. She earned her position as prime minister then. And when it was time for her to step down, she had to justify herself. She felt like she needed to justify herself for stepping down. They made her feel guilty for being her herself, for saying, okay, I need to prioritize myself and my family. And there's so many arrays of brokenness out there when it comes to women. The challenges we face at work, for those of us who are into the 9 to 5 rat race, it is difficult, especially as Black women, to first of all, first of all, find an environment where we feel we're comfortable enough to to be ourselves and to then thrive. And I think we find that for a lot of us, we spend years trying to achieve that um, conducive environment. We're not even asking for any sort of perfection. We're not asking for people to be all decent people and respectful. We're just asking for people to let us do our jobs within the environment that we've been given. And I find that it's been very difficult over the years um, to be able to do that because every time you, as a person, you feel like you've taken steps forward, you realize that there are other people within the same organizations that are suffering, that are facing the same challenges that you thought you've conquered. It just seems that the system is built in such a way that when one person is being championed, 10 others are being broken down. So, with all of this brokenness, how are women still thriving out there and doing the things? That is what I want to talk about today. The ability to be able to keep pushing on despite the challenges, the struggles. I find that for me, it's prioritizing my well being. Over the years, I've learned that it wasn't wrong for me to think of myself when I was put in difficult places, difficult situations, situations that I didn't have to be in, situations that I was forced to be in or that I was forced to face because of other people's poor judgments. And in the past, my focus was on trying to extinguish that that feeling and that situation by being present, not knowing that I needed to extract myself from the situation in order to be able to gather um, enough strength and perspective to be able to confront the problem if I wanted to confront the problem, because it's not always that you have to confront a problem. Sometimes the best course of action is just to remove yourself from it altogether and bid the people or the situation goodbye. So as broken women, I often think that we face the challenges of having to fix our brokenness, going to therapy. That's something that I've always advocated for. I always tell people around me within my circle the importance of finding a good therapist, a therapist that works for you, that helps you build that resilience that you already have, or that helps you rebuild what has been broken within you. Because it is difficult out there. Like I said, for many of us, just being able to find a decent environment to work in is it's near impossible. We have to put up with a lot just to be able to make a living. And I wonder sometimes if it is worth it. But when you have spent years, for example, educating yourself to achieve um, this qualifications, and then you find yourself in the role you've worked hard to apply for, and then you've been successful at, for you to start working there and then realize that the environment, the people in there seem to make you seem to want to make you believe that you do not deserve to be there, or they look down on you, or they disrespect you, or they undermine your work, or they go out of their way to defame your character. When those things happen, it is difficult to reconcile and to go through all of that challenges and to face the brokenness that occurs within you from all of that and still push forward. And a lot of people flee, they quit, they move on to something else. And some people give up on their dreams altogether and start something else. While all of these options are there, sometimes I wonder if giving up is the solution. I'm not saying stay in a situation that is beating you down or sucking up your energy. I wonder if maybe not staying in there, but creating for yourself, creating for yourself a different environment that is away from those people. Thanks to COVID, we all are enjoying, a lot of us get to be able to work from home. That offer wasn't on the table as much as it was, as much as it is now after COVID. So being able to have that has been a blessing to a lot of us. I hear now that there's this push to return back to the office. I understand that business need. However, for a lot of us who have been traumatized, who have been broken time and time again in toxic environments, it is very difficult, I would say, to return back. Um, so, in that sense, creating your own environment where you can thrive and work and effectively productive is key to be able to thrive. Um, Another aspect of thriving through brokenness for me is focusing on the things that I enjoy. Creating, I enjoy creating. I've always had the creative side of me, for example. So I try to focus on those things, whether it's creating um, through poetry, whether it's creating through music, whether it's creating by just being surrounded by friends, um, or creating things like I do here, content. Um, I found that those things have allowed me to heal because these are things that I'm doing for myself, and in finding myself, in discovering what I am able to do and expanding my horizon. So, what do you do when you feel broken? What are the your go-to? when your brokenness. Um, of course, I've talked about how you've tried to create an environment for yourself outside of the environment that's been created for you. Although it may sound like extra work, it's being able to not just survive but thrive as well. That's the key, isn't it? Um, I've also talked about um, taking advantage of opportunities that you have, like working from home if you can, and being able to put yourself first by through therapy, seeking help, taking your mental health seriously so that you have enough energy to be able to face or even extract yourself from situations that are not conducive to your growth. Um, Another aspect is my spirituality, really. I'm a spiritual person. I believe that every individual is a spiritual person and then a physical person. The two go hand in hand. I found that building a relationship with God has helped me to see myself um, beyond um, my humanness and to see myself beyond what others see. So I see myself as a child of God, and that means that I am more than just this physical. I'm more than my limitations. I'm more. There's more to me that the eyes can see. And that's allowed me to make bold decisions in my life to face my enemies when it's time to face them, to stand up for myself and to speak up despite the challenges and the brokenness within me, to say no, this is not who I am, this is not who um, I am, and therefore I will not accept your projection onto me. um, and just being able to extract yourself from situations and learn from your mistakes and say, okay, I have done this in the past, but I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to learn from my mistakes and do better in taking care of myself, in showing myself compassion, because that's what the gospel of Jesus Christ is all about. It's about knowing who you are, but through the lens of your Heavenly Father. You know, a Heavenly Father who really is perfect and knows all things and cares about you deeply beyond what you could ever imagine. And that for me is my ability to thrive through brokenness. Because um, if we all were to talk about all the things that we've gone through over the period of our lives, we would all have moments and things and memories that when they come up, even in the present, we feel broken, we feel we feel lost, we feel sad, you know. But for me, having Christ at the center of my life allows me not to dwell on those things, but to see the lessons and to take the blessings that were attached to those difficulties. So when I talk about thriving through brokenness, it's being able to find the blessings through the difficulties that you face. And how you do that will depend on your core values, where you find your peace, where you find your quiet, and spending time in growing yourself, in investing in your well-being. Not everybody can afford therapy, private therapy, but it is important that if you have the money that you have, you put some aside to care for your mental health, as much as you would put some aside for the food you eat or for your gym membership, if you can afford a gym membership, um, or using resources online to help you build the the system you need to be able to face off the devil, whatever forms it takes when it comes to your life. So I hope that this chat has been enlightening, and this is something I want to do more often. Just talk on things that I've experienced, things that I see others experiencing, trends that I see all over the world when it comes to just to women and human beings in general, but particularly women. As a woman, of course, a lot of those things they affect me, and I can relate. And yes, so on that note, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. It's been wonderful just growing this community with you all and to seeing the things that you enjoy and just being able to be myself as well. It's very important that I do not lose sight of why I'm doing this, which is to empower, to encourage, to embolden. I want people to feel like they can be themselves when they come on this page, but also with showing respect for others, understanding that others have boundaries. We're not just there to take, we're also there to give. And on that note, until next time, I wish you all the best. Ta!